Hello guys, welcome back to the Brutal Investor channel. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day today. In this episode, we're going to cover an interesting Canadian stock, which is one of my favorite dividend growth stocks. And it's a stock that I would recommend anyone from any country. If you're trying to buy a stock from like a country like Canada, this is one of the best stocks that you can keep your eye out for because it's a really strong play and it has a huge potential in the future as well, right? So this stock is basically called the Royal Bank of Canada stock or the RY.TO stock, right? As always, I would highly recommend you guys to do your own research on any of the projects we cover on our channel. And for this stock, I recommend you guys to go to the website rbc.ca or rbc.com. If you search for that in Google, you'll basically get the right website which you can go to do your own research, right? But before we talk about the RBC or Royal Bank of Canada stock, I want to talk to you guys about Wealthsimple. Wealthsimple is a platform that is basically a mobile app which you can use to buy and sell stocks. For some reason, I can't really show you the Wealthsimple interface because it's not loading on my phone properly. But this is an app that you can basically use to download on your phone, and at the same time you can buy and sell stocks with literally no commission, right? This is really great for Canadians who want to basically get into stock market and get into investing. You have a lot of stock options, ETFs. You can also buy fractional stocks. You can also do multiple other trading. There's a lot of advanced options as well for people who want to do advanced trading. But this is mostly suitable for beginners or even amateur investors, right? So if you want to test your waters on the stock market and try to make some trades in a commission-free manner, especially for Canadians, you can use Wealthsimple, right? For people in the US, you can still use Wealthsimple to trade, but it's not going to be as versatile as some of the other stock exchanges that you're used to. But for people in Canada, Wealthsimple is definitely going to be easy for you because you not only have a whole host of Canadian stocks that you can trade in the TSX as well as the TSX Ventures, but you can also trade American stocks as well as crypto. So they also offer crypto options. You can trade up to 50 cryptos that's weighted by the team, which are fully compliant with the regulations, and you don't have to worry about paying any commission fees, right? They have some of the most easy user interface out there. So if you want to basically get your hands on some crypto or stocks, Wealthsimple would be the best place to go. And if you use the link in the description to sign up for a Wealthsimple account, you can get up to $3,000 in cash that you can use to buy stocks or crypto or do whatever you want with it, right? So use the link in the description to get that benefit because it's a referral link and you can only get this benefit by using the referral link in the description below. And by doing that, you're also supporting the Brutal Investor channel, for which I thank you in advance. Going back to the page for Royal Bank, for the purpose of the video, I'm going to rely on the information present on Yahoo Finance, which is ca.finance.yahoo.com. And if you want to learn more about this, I suggest you to go to Yahoo Finance because everything that's going to be covered in this video is going to be peripheral skim through as well as some of my opinions about this company and stock itself. If you're expecting real in-depth analysis, this is not the video for you, right? So for people who are watching this video, I just want to make sure that you understand that clearly. I'm not a big technical analyst, so I can't really analyze everything in detail, but I do provide information about the peripheral performance of the company, as well as going through some peripheral information that will help you to do your own in-depth research onto the stock, right? So now speaking about Royal Bank, for people who don't really know about Royal Bank, it's one of the most popular banks in Canada. It's been around for quite some time. In fact, it's been around since I think 1830s or 1840s. It's one of the oldest banks in Canada, right next to the Bank of Montreal, which we covered in our channel a while back. And it's also one of the leading financial institutions. They have pretty much all forms of financial services that you can think about, which includes personal finances as well as business finances. In business, they have they have tools that can help small businesses as well as medium-scale businesses, and they provide services which includes lending, saving, borrowing, mortgage services, insurance services, and so on and so forth. Any form of financial institutional service that you're expecting, you can basically expect to find that with the Royal Bank of Canada, right? So that's how versatile and pretty much one of the core fundamental companies in all of the Canadian fabric is basically by Royal Bank. They're also one of the best performing Canadian banks, not only in Canada but also in the entire world. I'll show you some examples through the price chart. You will clearly see in a few seconds that even during the recession of 2009, some of the worst recessions that we've had, even during the recent COVID-19 crash that the stocks experienced, Royal Bank came out unfazed with minimal damage, and then they continue to grow further, right? So those are all some of the impressive statistics that you'll hear from Royal Bank of Canada. But starting with the basics, you can clearly see that the bank's ticker symbol is RY, and if you see, it has .TO because it's trading in the Toronto Stock Exchange. If you want to buy the American version, you can basically buy it, but it won't have the TO, and it will be in US dollars, right? So therefore, all the metrics that I'm going to present to you is going to be in Canadian dollars for this video. If you want American dollars, you can basically find the same information in American dollars as well, right? If you see that the stock price is currently at $125.07 at the time I'm making this video. We'll go through some of the important numbers there. But if you scroll below, you can see the previous close was $124.97. The opening price was $123.75. Clearly, the stock has gone up. The bid and ask information is available. The dates range, if you see, today the stock kind of ranged between $123.60 to a high of $125.28. So clearly the stock has been going up in the daily basis, and it has been going up for quite some time, with a small dip in the recent months due to the fear of recession as well as the increase in interest rate panic, right? That happened a few months back. So the 52-week trading range is $118.24 to $149.60. So clearly, in the past 52 weeks, the stock has significantly increased from $118 to close to $150 per stock, right? The volume has also been quite good. The 24-hour volume has been a little bit low compared to the average volume. The volume has been $1.8 million in volume, trading volume, but the average volume is usually $3.7 million. So even though the volume is quite volatile here and there, it's not as crazy. It's kind of like a stable stock, if you ask me, right? The market cap is $174.061 billion, again Canadian dollars. The beta value for 5-year is 0.76, and the PE ratio is 11.39, with the EPS, earnings per share, is 10.98 as well, right? So really good numbers, if you ask me. If you don't know any of these numbers, don't worry about it. All Canadian banks have similar values and ratios. So you're basically finding stocks that are really good established plays, right? Forward dividend and yield is going to be 5.12% or 4.10%. So obviously the dividend yield, we'll go through it in detail, is quite high, and it's one of the good dividend paying stocks on a quarterly basis, and the current dividend yield is 4.10%, right? The ex-dividend date, which is the date before which you need to buy the stock in order to be eligible for dividend, is October 25th of 2022, and the dividend paying date is November of 2022. We can go through those numbers as well. So you can clearly see some of the numbers. In fact, all of the numbers are pretty good. If you go to conversations, it seems like not a lot of information is available about what people are talking about this stock. But if we see, I think it recently updated. So here they are stating, again, you can see some memes here. Dance of the woke joke, which is from Sean C. 5 days ago. Time to buy or will go lower. People are obviously some people are trying to spread FUD because of the new recession panic that's going on, but you can overall see some good comments. People are trying to buy the dip, and that's some of the comments you'll be basically seeing, right? So their earnings and the percentage dividend yield, they're talking about BNS, which is another bank stock. You can see that people are trying to, some people are stating that it's a really good stock. So let's say, for example, Mike, for example, is stating that banks always win in the end. Banks, best stock I've owned, 6K in dividends a year alone. Give me more, suckers gotta love sales. So clearly there's some positivity here. If you are trying to remove all the memes and all that and only get the opinions, you can go to Twitter and obviously type RY.TO to get some really positive opinions about Royal Bank, right? Overall, the general sentiment is that it's a really good stock. bank stocks are good. Canadian bank stocks are even good. They pay extremely good dividends. They increase their dividend on a regular basis, and they've consistently paid their dividend without missing a single date. So these are all some good information that you'll basically find from Twitter, right? Going to statistics, if you see, we're going to be skimming through some numbers here. So valuation measures. So market cap intraday is $173.92 billion. Enterprise value is not available, but trailing PE ratio is 11.38 and forward PE ratio is 10.50. And if you see sales, price to sales ratio is 3.86 ratio, and price to book ratio is 1.80. And if you see the stock trading information, the beta value is 0.76, which we've already seen. The 52-week change, the past 52 weeks, it seems like the stock has had kind of like had a dip in its performance of minus 4.65%. Compared to S&P 500, the 52-week change has also been quite bad, where there's a little bit of a decrease, which is it's performed a little bit worse than S&P 500. But again, that's not really going to be a factor that you should be concerned about, because sometimes most of the S&P 500 stocks are based on tech stocks. There's a lot of tech stocks in the S&P 500. Canadian markets don't really have a lot of tech stocks, so you're comparing a fast-moving tech stock with a slow-moving bank stock, and that's why you can see these differences, right? But these are not differences that you should panic or be concerned about. These are just comparisons overall, right? The 52-week high has been $149.60 Canadian, and 52-week low is $180.24 Canadian again. 50-day moving average is $125.28, and 200-day moving average has $133.22. So the share statistics-wise, average volume in the 3-month has been $3.76 million. Average volume in 10-day period is also $3.3 million. So the volume hasn't significantly changed on a 10-day to 3 months gap, right? So it seems like on a daily basis the volume may go up and down, but pretty much after 10 days you can clearly see that the volume is quite consistently somewhere in the $3 million range. The shares outstanding, which is the number of shares that Royal Bank still owns, is 1.39 billion shares. Implied shares outstanding is not really available. The float is 1.39 billion. So if you see the percentage of shares held by insiders, which is from people who work at Royal Bank, is 0.01%. So it seems like there's not a lot of insider trading or insider shareholding of Royal Bank, but you can see the percentage held by institutions, on the other hand, is close to 50%. It's like 47.01% of the institutions hold the stock. So that's pretty crazy if you ask me, because it seems like institutions bet on the banks extremely well, and at the same time their bet on Royal Bank is quite high as well. So these are informations that will help you understand how institutions think and what kind of stocks they prefer to hold on their portfolio, right? If you see shares short, these are all information that will also help you. It's not really fully relevant information, but information that you can know. The most important section is dividends and splits. So they have a forward annual dividend rate of 5.12%, which is pretty cool, but the current dividend yield is 4.10%, right? So it's a pretty good dividend yielding stock. It pays dividends every quarterly, and as we saw, the payout ratio is 43.35%, which means out of all their income, they basically pay out 43%, 43.35% of the revenue when it comes to in dividends. The remaining percentage is used to invest in the bank itself to expand and explore, right? So that's pretty good if you ask me. And if you see, the dividend date is November 24th of 2022, and the ex-dividend date is October 25th of 2022. So if you're trying to buy this stock after watching this video, please do your own research. But after doing your research, if you are convinced that this is the best stock to own, one of the best stocks to own in your portfolio, then you need to buy it before October 25th of 2022 so that you can be eligible to receive a dividend on November 24th of 2022, right? The last split factor, so there was a split that happened in 2006, March 23rd, where the split was 2:1 ratio, right? So that's pretty good information, if you ask me, for what you need to know about Royal Bank. If you scroll further below, you have the financial highlights. These go into a little bit more detail, so you can see the profitability is 32.31%, operating margin is 44.12%, return on assets and return on equity. All these are important numbers, right? When it comes to revenue, they do make a lot of revenue, and they are a profitable company. Their revenue has been so far $48.92 billion, which is pretty good if you ask me. The revenue per share is 34.62 TTM, and if you see the quarterly revenue growth has been quite a bit stagnant because of the pandemic as well as the overall recession fears. The growth in quarterly revenue hasn't been that great, but I think the yearly revenue will catch up to it, right? The gross profit is $40.45 billion, as well as the net income AV to common is $15.56 billion. But again, these are all non-important information, right? You can go through all these numbers by yourself from the Yahoo Finance page. So if you scroll to the top and you see historical data, this is where you get all the historical information on a daily basis on the opening price, the highest price it has been in the past 24 hours, lowest price, the closing price, as well as the volume on a daily basis. As you can see, the volume has been fluctuating, but it has kind of remained within the $120 to $126 range, right? If you look at profile, which is where we can basically find the information about the bank itself. It's based in Toronto, and the website is rbc.com. And they currently employ about 88,541 employees overall, which is one of the most significant and the most profound employers in Canada. And if you see, these are the key executives of the company. Currently, David McKay is the president, CEO, and director of the company. This is his pay, which is $5.64 million, and the year he was born, right? You can also find the pay structure as well as the names and titles of other prominent individuals with RBC, here in this page. You can also read about the stock itself and the company and what they do, right? If you go to the financials, this is where we have easily broken down information on an annual and quarterly basis for the revenue as well as the expense, the income before taxes, all the information broken down in bite-sized pieces for you if you're looking to do some deep analysis on it, right? When it comes to analysis, you can see analysts are predicting the positive growth of all Canadian banks in the future in the next 5 to 10 years from now, with RBC probably being one of the top 2 banks that will overtake all the other banks in Canada, as well as they are expected to grow exponentially in the future as well, right? So you can read through some of the analysts' estimates here. Options is for people who do options trading. This is not really relevant, so I'm going to skip through that. The most important section is the holders section. So if you see, as we discussed before, only 0.01% of the shares are held by all insiders, 47.01% is held by institutions, 47.02% of the float is held by institutions, and about 1,047 institutions hold shares of RY, right? And if you see the top institutional holders, RBC themselves hold a majority of their shares. About 75.1 million shares is held by them. Bank of Montreal, which is a bank that we covered recently on our channel, also holds a significant chunk of RBC's stocks. If you see, they hold 65.9 million shares of RBC. The others include Vanguard, TD Asset Management, Mackenzie Financial, Phil Limited, CIBC, Bank of Nova Scotia, Wellington Management, as well as 1832 Asset Management Limited. So all of these are the top holders of the Royal Bank shares, right? If you scroll below, you can see the top mutual fund holders, where Vanguard International Stock Index holds 18.4 million shares. Vanguard Tax Managed Fund, they hold 10.2 million. Fidelity Contra Fund, they hold 5.2 million. JP Morgan ETF, they hold 4.7 million, and so on and so forth here, right? So it seems like a lot of American index funds, they strongly believe in the growth and potential of the Canadian banks, and specifically with the RBC, they have a decent chunk of shares from RBC in their portfolio because they definitely believe in the future potential of RBC, right? If you go to the summary section, you can see obviously the stock is trading at $125.07. It's been up 10 cents in the past 24 hours with a 0.08% increase in the past 24 hours as well. It's not as like in crypto where you can find more than 10 or even sometimes 20% growth in the past 24 hours. Stock markets move slow, and especially stocks like RBC that are really established stocks, they move even more slower. But you can clearly see that in the max chart, the stock has moved consistently in the upward direction, right? So obviously, if you see the recession time during 2009, which was when the share market collapsed in multiple countries, RBC only had a slight dip. It reached from $46.84, it reached $30, and then it started rebounding back again immediately with no real significant hindrance, and it continued to grow and kind of make some big moves, reaching all-time highs on a consistent basis. And even during the COVID-19 pandemic, you can clearly see that the stock went from 104 to about $85.63 before bouncing back right away, right? So it seems like the stock has consistently proven itself for several years, and even during the toughest recession times that the stock has done pretty well, right? So that shows that the company has been well maintained and well run. It's like a well-oiled machine that consistently makes good gains, right? The recent all-time high and the current all-time high for the stock has been $144.93 as of January 1st, 2022, and now it's kind of taking a small breather. Currently it's at $125, right? So obviously the stock does not take breathers every time, so this is the best opportunity to buy the stock if you're convinced that this is the best stock for you. For people who are trying to get a diversified portfolio, this is obviously a really good stock where you can definitely buy this, sell it and forget it, and make some consistent dividends on a quarterly basis. For people in Canada, if you guys want to start dipping your toes on the stock market, this is probably one of the best stocks you can hold. You just buy it, set it and forget it. And for people in Canada, you guys also have TFSA, which is the tax-free savings account. You can basically open that through Wealthsimple by using the link in the description to get up to $3,000 in cash to buy stocks and crypto. If you do end up getting some referral money by using the link, you can use that to buy RBC stocks, and you can sell it and forget it, right? You get tax-free dividends on a quarterly basis, which if you buy it and then open it after 5 to 10 years from now, you will see some really good gains made in your TFSA, right? So those are all some of the ways by which you can take advantage of the consistent performance of RBC. I think this stock is going to be worth more than $200 in the next 5 to 10 years from now. It's definitely possible due to the recent recession as well as the panic that's happening in the market. There could be some hindrance overall in the market for growth, but I think RBC is in the best position to shrug all of that off and then continue to grow in the upward direction for years to come, right? So again, this is just my personal opinion, guys, not financial advice. Please do your own research before you put your hard-earned money on this token, right? Again, remember, guys, you guys are not regular investors, you guys are brutal investors, so stay brutal. Thank you very much for watching my video, guys. If you like my video, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. See you in my next video. Bye.